Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by Darshan Sunger, who is the ARLA Regional Executive for Essex and a very well-known letting agent. Thanks for joining me today, Darshan.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for inviting me along once again to
Pleasure.
your sofa this time.
I want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the fact is that you've just passed your level 4 in lettings, and if you don't mind me saying, that is an awful lot of work.
Yes, Chris, I am absolutely delighted actually that it's been a bit of a journey, and we'll talk a bit later about that. But yeah, it's a relief as well in a way that being able to go through a lot of these modules.
Okay, so there's 6 modules there. So does that mean there's 6 exams?
Yeah, so each one is a module on its own, and it's an exam that you sit. And there's 6 of these folders, and this particular material is produced by MOL through Propertymark qualifications. So that's the exam I sat, and it's the technical level 4.
Okay, so when did you start your qualification journey on this?
So when we had ROPA that came about, and they started to put their recommendations out. It was a 53-page dossier, and they said level 3 is for minimum reserved activity for anybody in the lettings industry, and then level 4 for small to medium enterprises and directors like myself in the industry. That's when I decided that I need to stay ahead of the game.
So how long in time did you? How long has it taken you? And did you do each one? Did you do one at a time?
Actually, no. I challenged myself, Chris, because being in the industry 22 years now, I decided to do 2 at a time. But then I soon realised it was a bit too much to chew on, so I decided to do 1 at a time.
Okay, so start to end, how long did it take you to do?
18 months.
Okay.
And then we had COVID as well, so that delayed.
Do you think for the people that are watching this, and especially people who are probably more mature of age in their, say their late 40s, 50s, early 60s, is how much time do you reckon someone could actually get through these if they were really?
Well, the recommended time by Propertymark qualification is 3 years. It is an undergraduate degree, if you want to call that. Now, in terms of how much time, well, you're trying to run a business. All the balls are up in the air, so I think consistency is important. So 2 hours a day. So during the week, 2 hours of study time.
A day?
A day. That's what I've done.
But you're running a business 2 hours a day for 18 months?
Yeah, roughly, yeah. I mean, when I say 2 hours, by the time you read through, it's not just about reading, it's about also understanding and trying to understand the messages that they're trying to get across.
Aren't we going to have an exodus of people from the industry when presented with something like this?
Well, Chris, I mean, I don't think we're going to have a massive drove of people moving out of the industry. The whole idea, I mean, I'm on the sofa today, is to reassure people that run their own businesses like myself, small to medium enterprise company directors, that it hasn't got to be a massive big challenge. If you can eat the whole elephant in bite-sized chunks. And this is what you need to do, is to focus on going through these modules. And it's not just a matter of just going through them, it's about learning as well.
Okay, but if that looks, 2 hours a day, people say I haven't even got 2 minutes a day. What did you do to enable you to do this?
Well, I mean, like any successful business person, you would run your own business and you'd have good time management skills. And that's what you need, time management skills. You need to set that time.
Did you know an awful lot of this that was in there, though?
No.
Because a lot of people say, well, I'll just turn up to the exam centre and take the exam.
No. I think you'd struggle to pass. The information that's in those modules is something that you need to read, digest, understand, because when you go to sit the exam, it's not your multiple choice exams like the one, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an essay style. So they want you to answer their questions in an essay style. So each question carries 10 marks. So there's 10 marks per question, and obviously you need to have a pass rate of 45%. It may seem an easy challenge, but 45% is a lot if you're trying to answer a question in essay style.
So what would you say to the people who run lettings agencies in their 50s and early 60s? Should they be afraid of this? I mean, ROPA's not even been announced yet.
ROPA hasn't been announced, but Lord Best did at a conference say that legislation, the 53 pages of the recommendations is put forward to government, it will be coming.
So really, it's not a case. I know we're going to go into ROPA in a lot more detail in
Yeah.
another video, but fundamentally, this is coming. So what are you basically saying is, if you still want to be in lettings, then you need to be looking at this, because if you're not careful, there could be an exodus in the business. But then if everyone's putting their lettings agencies on the market all at the same time because they're afraid of a bit of hard work, then the value of their lettings agency is going to drop like a stone, isn't it? Supply and demand.
Chris, the one thing I always say is prevention is better than cure. And the thing is, if you've done that, you haven't lost anything, but you've gained more knowledge about. The one thing I learned from the material there was there's a lot of stuff, like you said, I didn't know, but I do know now. And
do you think it's made you a better, more compliant agent?
Absolutely. And I'm very passionate about the industry, and like many other people out there, I took it upon myself to learn more. And you never stop learning, Chris. So for me, this was a massive, big learning curve, but also I'm going to stay ahead of the game. And I'd like people like myself to also perhaps.
Do you think it will actually give you an advantage over your competitors in East London?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm going to be somebody that will be providing a service to our landlords and tenants that exceed legal parameters at the moment.
So basically, what you're suggesting is that if there's anyone in their 40s and 50s who own their own lettings agency, they really should be banging on this about now, as opposed to waiting until it's announced. Because the worst thing is that you either try and cram it in and it doesn't work, or if you don't do it, you'll end up selling your own lettings agency, and everyone else will be panicking, and you'll get fire sale price.
And that's that.
But by doing it, you're going to be more compliant, more knowledgeable. You're going to be better for your landlords. Well, it seems obvious that you should be doing this. It's just a bit of hard work, isn't it?
It is hard work, but then hard work will pay off. And like I said, Lord Best said, it will be around. It will be coming around.
It's coming. It's not as if it's not coming.
Not if it will be announced, and it will be coming around. And so I always say, prepare yourselves. And I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying you should consider doing it for win-win purposes. So you learn more. You're staying ahead of the game, ahead of your competitors as well.
Because if you think about it, if you start it now, because let's be honest, if ROPA does, when ROPA does get announced, they'll probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess a couple of years to get it done. If you do it now and it waits another year, then you've got 3 years to do it, which means you haven't got it to affect your business so much.
Absolutely, and that's why I made that decision to get on this path now.
It's like anything. It's an elephant, but the best way to eat it is one mouthful at a time, isn't it?
Bite-sized chunks.
There you go. There you go. Well, I just want to say thank you for Darshan for joining me today. I'm very well thought of, a letting agent, and as I said, an ARLA Propertymark regional executive. Thank you for your time today. I'd like to, in other videos, talk about stuff like how COVID has affected the lettings market, how Propertymark's future, and also a bit more detail on ROPA itself. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much for having me.